Hi, Patrice Evans here. Welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to dive in, and I have a new series that I want to talk to you about, and I want to really focus in on a certain type of woman. So if you read the title, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the single young professional who's successful in everything that she's doing, professional woman that is, who's successful in everything that she's doing in her life. She's showing up and doing well and succeeding, and the one area that she really would like to succeed in is in marriage. But there's a little twist to this. She wants marriage, but she's wise enough to know that she wants a marriage that lasts. She wants to avoid divorce, moving into it as she actually decides on it. So if this is something that you're interested in hearing about, just hold on, hold tight, and we're going to be talking about that today. All right, so I'm Patrice Evans, and I'm the author of Resilient Joy, where I actually share my story of how I was able to get married and avoid divorce. I actually went through a lot because I'm a Hyoka empath, and I had victory over narcissistic abuse and jealousy in the family, career, and church. My book is on Amazon now, so if you are interested in learning more about my story and all the steps that I had to take in my personal life, then definitely go ahead and get the book. I'd love for you to have my book and learn more about me. But if you do know about me, you already know that I am packed with so much wisdom, and I have the gift of healing, and I'm a Hyoka empath. I am a professional dancer, actress, and master high school, middle school Spanish teacher turned relationship coach, and I'm taking all of my gifts and I'm here to help you. So I'm going to do a series right now where I'm going to just start answering questions that I know that I had, and a lot of you probably have, on how to get married, but not just get married. You're a different, younger person that, when I say younger, I'm thinking more like 22, 23, up to like 35, where maybe you haven't gotten married yet, but you really are excited about doing it, but you know the statistics out there that 50% of marriages fail, and then it gets worse every second and third marriage. And so that's really the case. So I'm actually technically my third husband. I was a widow at one point, so that's part of why. And I had a very short-lived marriage from somebody who I believe had narcissistic and sociopathic traits, and I actually made it through both. They both were narcissistic, and I learned so much that now I've put together a program, a course, where I'm actually here to help you so that you don't have to go through what I went through. But even so, in this video, I want to share with you some things that you need to be thinking about if you are interested in not just getting a man, not just getting married, but getting married with the intention of avoiding divorce. Okay? All right. So one of the first things that I want to talk to you about is there's a concept that I actually coined, which is re-raising yourself. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's something that I coined, and it's in my story, in my book, where I talk about a time where I consider myself re-raising myself. And I want to talk about that today because that is something that you're going to need to do. If you are concerned about, repeating the generations before you and divorce, and you want to make sure that you do not have divorce, and you're a wise young person. And when I say young, you're thinking, wait a minute, girl, aren't you our age? You're 32, aren't you? And so many people tell me that. Actually, I'm over 50, and that's why my book is so thick. It's broken down into 4 different groups. So I'm like your auntie, your cool auntie, or, a teacher figure, or, a minister. I am a minister, so I do help you with that too. But I actually have been through so many different things in my life, that I've had so many things happen that I consider myself, I'm every woman. I have had so many different things that I've learned from, and I've learned the hard way. I've learned because God gave me the wisdom, and whatever the case is, but I've actually made it out joyfully. And so that's why I have this resilient joy. I don't just mask things and just kind of dismiss that I went through it. I actually go through the processes so that I can truly grow and learn and never have to go through it again. So I have a course where I can do this more condensed for you, to put you through this process where you don't have to do it more than like 6 to 8 weeks, and you're done. So you're already through the process, and it's a one-stop shop with all that I have. So if you're interested at the end, make sure that you watch this video to the end, and you want to click on my link down at the bottom, my landing page, so you can learn a little bit more about what I do, and I can definitely highlight some of the things we talked about today, okay, so that at least you have some notes. All right, so when I talk about re-raising myself, it was a time in my life, and I wrote my book, when I actually started to notice that while I love my family, and I'm sure you love yours, and you don't blame them for anything, you're not upset with them about anything, but you realize that you don't want to repeat some of the things that you've seen in your family, in your culture, in your country, and whatever. Even if you were single, if you think you had great parents, but you could see that you want something better. And even if you've seen parents or couples who have stayed together, you see the pain that they're in and how they stayed together despite the fact that there were some issues there. So you know deep in your gut that you know that you have not seen an example of a healthy, lasting marriage. And you are concerned now that you may end up having that if you just go straight into dating and marriage. Right? So you're wise, and this is the woman I want to speak to. They're like me. When I was younger, I was a lot more mature than a lot of people my age, and I set out to figure out how could I not get a divorce. I don't want to get a divorce. And even though I was conscientious, I call that sober, I was paying attention, I was doing all the things I'm supposed to do, I still had to jump through so many hoops, and I'm thinking, why? I was so cautious and conscious of everything I was doing. I was not doing the things that I thought my mother might have done or my parents, and I still fell into it. And there was something bigger than me going on here. I had to go back to my childhood, and I had to figure out what was going on there, what went wrong, and I had to clean those things out and step out of this place where I had been used to. There's something people call it has been widely known as the generational curse. So there's something that our grandparents passed down to our parents and our parents passed down to us, and it's not even all their fault. It's just something that they've always done. It could be culturally, it could just be the way things have always been done. And you're that next generation that's kind of like saying, wait a minute, I don't know if this is the best thing that we've always done, because it's not turning out so well. Look what happened to grandma. Look what happened to mom. Look what happened to auntie, or whatever the case is. And like I said, even if they stayed married, you saw the pain, and you saw or abuse, even verbal and emotional or physical or whatever you saw. So what we want to do is we want to cut that, and we want to stop the generational curse. And that's what's packed into re-raising yourself. One of the things you want to do is cut and stop the generational curse. And you want to re-raise yourself and reignite it a new way. Unfortunately, I had to do it while already having my children, and when my first husband was missing for almost 2 years. I had that respite time without a man in my life where I was single, because my husband was missing. We found his remains, and we were able to move from there. So that's where my resiliency comes in. But there's a whole story around that it's in the book if you want to know more about it. God has kept us and brought us through, and we're back. So during that time, though, of my single season, I was able to really hear my own voice, think about things, and say, okay, next time around, I'm going to make sure that I don't do what I did before. What were the things I did before? I joined a Christian group of people that believed in courtship. I said, that's it. I'm going to do courtship. Now, you don't have to do courtship exactly the way I did, but it is important to use that model because it does keep you sober. And sober is a big word you'll hear me say, and I'll talk more about that another time, because then you can see the beginning stages of your relationship. So in order to re-raise yourself, the first thing you want to do is you want to be sober. And sober would mean that you're not letting the dopamine in your mind and the oxytocin just take over, and you're not able to see red flags or hear your own thoughts or what you really are feeling about the person. And if you let those things take over, if you let these natural hormones take over in your mind, then you will not be sober to see if this is the right choice for a lasting, healthy marriage. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start looking into something like courtship, where there is no intercourse in the beginning. There's no, getting so excited about things. The Bible talks about guarding your mind and guarding your heart. And so this is the kind of thing you want to do. You definitely want to be guarding things in the beginning. I definitely minimum of 6 months to a year of something like a courtship. And courtship basically means no sex to marriage. So you can still use those principles whether you're Christian, whether you're not, because there's some wisdom in there, because I do believe it came from God. So if God put marriage together, then why don't we do it his way? And that's kind of what I did with re-raising myself. I wanted to take a pause and say, wait a minute. I love my family. I love them. I respect them. But what was God intending for marriage? What was his whole thing with this? What if I gave him a chance to really take care of me and to guide me in what he was originally trying to do here? What was his goal here? And so during my single season, I was going through so much, and I said, Lord, I'm going to let you tell me what I'm supposed to do as an attractive woman that can get any guy, which these are the women I want to talk to. I know you know that. And what I love about you is that you're wise enough to know just because I can get someone and I could do this doesn't mean I should do this in the state that I'm in now without the guidance to do it well for a lasting and healthy marriage, right? So these are the women I want to talk to. You're younger, but you're wise. And you're successful. So obviously you've been doing something right. So you found a way to get out of what you've been through generationally to do well in your businesses and everything in your life. But in marriage and relationship, you really can't hide there. All the stuff that you went through growing up will start to come out in that area when you start to fall in love with somebody and when you're with someone. You can't really hide what you really are, because what you really are inside, by the way, will actually attract what's on the outside. So if you really have some work to do with how you were raised, you need to get that work done prior to marrying. So this is where I come in. I'm here for your single season if you're wise enough to realize how important that is. So the first thing with re-raising yourself would definitely be guarding your heart, guarding your mind. And the next thing you want to do is you want to heal. So you want to really focus on healing. And that would be, I talk about attachment styles. Everybody has an attachment style. So everybody has been born into this world with whoever they are. But the way that they connect with their primary caregiver tells you a lot about their attachment style. So, and the parents, this is where you would have picked up things that became that generational curse. The parent doesn't know any better about being who they are. They can't pretend they're not who they are, and children can see right through anything. So the parent can't hide who they are and what their attachment style is. So they will attach to you and allow you to attach to them in the way that it makes sense to them. So if they have any issues or anything going on, it will come out in how they attach to you and will affect the way you develop your attachment style. So you want to go back and find out, what was going on back then. What was my relationship with my mother? Was she so busy that she really couldn't spend the time with me? Do I feel some sense of abandonment? And if I do, then, oh my goodness, will I show up in other relationships where I'm worried about that? And this plays into being sober. So this is why you really have to understand your attachment style to make sure that you're sober. So are you somebody who tries to avoid things and you're not showing up balanced with the person, or are you trying to be, are you more, I hate to use the word clingy, but that is a word that I think people understand. And it's because of your attachment style. So you really want to learn your attachment style, really go back and find out what it is that is your attachment style. And your goal is to have a secure attachment style where you can see things very clearly. You don't bring up any old feelings, and they don't trigger feelings that were from somebody else when you were younger. So you want to definitely do that. And one of the other things you want to do is you want to, this is going to seem weird, but you want to unlock your joy so that you can have this vulnerability. That's something that's very important for this time when you're re-raising yourself, because after you heal, you'll be able to unlock this side of you, this childlike side of you, and you'll be able to get more comfortable in that place. When you're in that place, which is something that's my ministry, JOY, because Jesus overcame for you. That's what I always talk about in my ministry. But Jesus loves you. In that place, you can receive that love from God. If you don't believe in Jesus, it could be just God. And now you're opened. Now we can do all the other stuff that you need to be doing, because now you're open to receive, and you're open to do all the things you need to do to really hone in on all the other steps that you need to take to attract the right man so that you can have a lasting, healthy marriage. But these are the first things that you're doing, and everything that I'm doing in this series is talking about re-raising yourself and all the steps that you would need to take. So these are the three big things that I definitely want to start you with, so that you can just start working on those things. And if you want to hear more about one of them, you want me to just dive deeper into one of them, then let me know. Go ahead in the comments and comment below and let me know. But definitely keep these things in mind and start thinking about these things, and really go into this next relationship sober, okay? And really hold back on any kind of physical work, hold back on overly getting excited about the guy. Hold your feelings back and keep them balanced. And when you do that, think about, while you're doing that, you're going to be thinking about why you're so excited about it. Is what's going on? What's my attachment style? So that should feed some information on why you're that way, and it can help you hold back some of that. So I hope that helps. And when you're doing that, you also want to allow yourself to unlock your joy. And I have a lot of stuff up here to help you unlock your joy. And one of the things that I really focus on is dancing. So I definitely encourage you to dance. Move your body. When you move your body, you're unlocking so much. And now you have this vulnerable, open palette to be able to paint the picture of whatever it is you want to do. You're beginning to start to be open to even hear God if he has something to say to you. So definitely move your body and dance and unlock your joy. So those are 3 really big things that I'm really excited to share with you to get you started with what I call re-raising yourself, so that you can show up for the person that you're supposed to be meeting. You'll attract them if you do these things, because they're going to see this vulnerable side of you, and they're going to be so attracted to you because you're not going too strong or too light, and you're really present. So I hope this has helped you. I want you, please comment below, let me know how this is helping you. And once again, if you want to know more specifics of this, or if you just want me to just share with you my notes, I could definitely go ahead and click on the landing page. I can give you the notes, and then I can give you more about what I do for my course, and you can click on my Calendly link so we can set up appointments. So if you want me to walk you through this and go through my step-by-step process on how to actually do this, then I am so excited to be your coach. We can see if we're a good fit, and we'll set up an appointment to talk. All right, well, God bless and have a good day. I'll see you on the next part of this series.